Hello, and welcome to the Oregon Files podcast. First, our disclaimer. We are novice podcasters simply for entertainment or knowledge. If we misquote or offend, it was not on purpose to do so. Recording once again from my spare attic bedroom, but it's a nice fall day, so you might hear some rain or thunder in the background. Is it fall yet? I think it's almost
not
fall.
fall.
It's not fall yet.
What's the first day of fall? It's like September 20th.
Yeah. Oh, I got excited. Okay, I'm sorry. We're still recording. It's August, late August, folks.
We're really pushing the fall agenda.
I really
First day
want
is
it. Yeah.
September 22nd.
Yes, and that's my co-host Elliot Bowman.
You can tell how much Mark and I are looking forward to fall here. I feel like the last 2 or 3 episodes we keep mentioning everything happening in fall and all the things we're looking forward to in fall.
Oh yeah,
June episode. So Mark, you ready for the cool weather in fall? I don't think we're meant for the warm weather.
I'm not meant for it. No,
I think you and I are.
I'm built like a bear.
Yeah, and definitely grizzly,
right?
With our beards.
Yes.
But one thing you can do in the fall, it's not just summertime activity. You can enjoy a nice, cool refreshment. Even in the fall. Beer is even good in the fall. You watch a little football, have a little barbecue, little brats. Beer is good to drink in the fall. And if you don't want to have beverages at your house, you can go to places like Too Shy.
Good segue.
They're located in Roseburg, Reedsport, and they also own Bandon Brewery and Pizza. Now, I could tell you the best spot to check out everything Too Shy has going on. Just go on their Instagram. They have the Instagram pages for all 3 locations in Roseburg, Reedsport, and then Bandon Brewery and Pizza. Too Shy has just been really awesome for us. If you ever want to check them out in any locations, give them a try.
I love it. And our other sponsor, Video Games Plus and Level Up Frozen Yogurt, located here in Roseburg. They're open 7 days a week. They're off Stevens. And the frozen yogurt site has new flavors every month. Some are dairy-free and over 50 toppings, including fresh fruit, as we know. Now, you do got to go in. You got to explore their, they got video games. They got disc golf. They got pinball machines that you can hang out and play. All kinds of good stuff. I mean, just a great shop. Gift certificates because the holiday season is coming up. So yeah, Video Games Plus and Live Up Frozen Yogurt, definitely hit them up. And yeah, this is one of those places, we got to keep all these places open, guys, because we lost our Elmers. We're going to lose our Bangkok West here. Boy, it's getting hard.
it's tough around here.
We have.
Do they serve Level Up all year?
No, see, they closed the frozen yogurt site, I think in December for 1 month. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just for 1 month. It's not bad. We only have one donut shop, but it's not open on Sundays.
Is it Henry's?
Henry's is not open on Sundays.
Oh, really?
And for a donut aficionado, that gutted me.
What's your favorite donut?
An edible one. That's good. I'm partial to a cinnamon roll. I think they call them Persian. Oh yeah, that's my go-to.
You don't have a favorite, if you had one donut the rest of your life, what would you don't have a favorite?
I don't. I just because the thing is just one donut. That's not. It's got to be a mixed bunch. But yeah, cinnamon roll, probably cinnamon roll. Like I said, but not when I say cinnamon roll, not the one with the god awful gobs of frosting. It's 3 inches high. No, I want the round one, just the light little glaze on there. That's my thing.
That's good stuff.
Then apple fritters second.
Oh, apple fritters are so good.
Yep.
I like apple fritters, and I like Boston cream pies are good too.
Now, yes, those, that's probably third on my list.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I can always go for an original glazed donut. It's always
classic, right?
Classic hits the spot every now and again.
You've had Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Fresh?
Sure.
Oh,
when we went to Vegas.
That's right.
We had the Krispy Kreme. It was in underneath the mall or somewhere. I don't know.
We found that around midnight. Then we and I insisted on leading this group, and I insisted on eating a dozen by myself, I think.
But you know what, Krispy Kreme, it always kind of disappoints me a little bit, though, if you microwave it too long.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes out like a little, I don't want to say gummy, but it's just not as...
It's not the same consistency.
Fresh, right.
You've got to have them fresh. Yeah. I could eat a dozen fresh this time. Yeah. I could freebase those things.
Freebase.
That's not right.
And they make different flavors too.
Oh, I know. When I go stay in Spokane, the hotel I stay at is within walking distance of a Krispy Kreme donut. And they know when I'm in town. We'll just put it that way. It's my frequency.
Yeah. We've talked about Blue Star before.
Blue Star's amazing. Blue Star's still my favorite.
Yeah, Blue Star's good.
That's a religious experience there.
Voodoo is good, but I feel like it's more the wow type of factor.
Yeah.
Kind of got his notoriety because they were putting a bunch of like random stuff on the donut.
I agree. I
Right?
agree.
Not so much the donut itself.
Yeah,
It was like bacon on the donut.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Ooh, yeah.
Right, right.
Although the Old Dirty Bastard donut from Voodoo is amazing because it's just like they just put everything on the donut. It's like got peanut butter or crushed up Oreo cookies, I think pretzel pieces. It's like everything they had laying around was put on the donut, and I'm like, hello.
What are we talking about?
We were going. I could probably do the entire podcast on donuts and donut stories, related adventures.
Right.
God, that's too much of my life centers around donuts. Okay,
And donuts are all year round.
donuts are year round. All right.
Right.
See Blue Star or
or Voodoo.
Voodoo if you guys want to be sponsored on a very up and coming podcast.
Or if there's a small chance in heck that anyone from Henry's Donuts is listening here in town, if you want to be a sponsor, we'll take sponsorships in donuts.
By the
Don't even
dozens.
have to get paid.
That's right. Yeah.
We can bake your dozens per episode.
I love it. That's our pitch. That's our donut sponsorship pitches.
Right.
I love it. Are you ready for this? We're going to go back to Colts.
Yes.
We had a strong kind of response to the first Colt one we did.
Loved it. People
Yeah.
loved it. Y'all loved it.
Colts, man.
We had to dive back into it.
Yeah.
It's really, really funny how when we record an episode, we have no idea what's going to be a hit, what are people going to be interested in or not. And that Colt one, that kind of
Boy. Comments, feedbacks.
Right. That was awesome.
People want to
Appreciate
follow
it.
up. Yes. Thank
Right.
you. Great feedback. So wanted to dive back into that one too, but I wanted to, of course, try and keep it in Oregon as much as possible. So I found 2 Colt related stories I had to share. The first one I have it's going to start off cultish. It's kind of weird in a twist, but it takes place in Damascus, Oregon. So it's up there, northern Oregon there. For years, there was a compound got nicknamed the Temple of the Oculus Anubis.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I was reading about this.
Yes, the Oculus Anubis. So it's got a giant gate
Yeah.
and giant statues on both sides of it. Since this kind of came out, one of the statues has, I think, either stolen or gone missing or something like that, but there's just one statue now. But the gate is like 40 feet tall. Huge, big thing. There's a guy named Thatcher on travelfeed.com actually snuck in and took pictures.
Oh my gosh.
And the pictures are wild.
It's a statue of an Egyptian god, Skemet, and twin stone pyramids.
Yes. Thatcher was able to post some pictures and what happened when him and his wife went in. And now here's the deal. Since we're going to get to the why he was able to sneak in is because the place is no longer, no one's living there. He said the property is filled with many side trails and different types of paths. As he was walking, he saw a giant like pillar, like almost like a Greek pillar type thing. And when he got to it, the pillar was crazy because he realized there was water and he saw steps that lead down, but he didn't have the scuba gear, so he couldn't go down. But there were steps that led downward to like a tunnel. They found another thing that was a rock setup. They could definitely tell it was a door. It had like a spot where you put a torch in. Really weird stuff, right? Rumor has it that there was $2 million worth of heated tunnels within the property. All these kind of crazy things. But anyways, just giant, Egyptian statues, that kind of stuff. Oculus Anubis.
Just be a family, a residence that's Egyptian ties.
Well, here's the true story. So get this. This is very recent. There's an article published by Keats Ross at vocal.media.com. It was not a cult, but just a secretive family who just really liked Egyptian decor, but it goes a little bit more than that. There's a gentleman by the name of Anthony Curtis Neal, was prosecuted for health insurance fraud through the Neal family optometry business in Gresham, Oregon. So the Oculus and the Oculus Anubis was because they were eye doctors. It's a family of eye doctors.
Yeah, that kind of kills any sort of fun speculation.
Yeah, but the hard part is Anthony embezzled around $2.5 million in a decades-long con that was allegedly orchestrated by his own late father, Dr. Dean Elton Neal. The money fueled what became known as the Temple of Oculus Anubis. He spent around $3 million to construct a still unfinished compound.
Interesting.
The unfinished 35,000 square foot house that the Neal family spent millions of dollars to build for son Anthony Neal, besides his father, Dr. Dean Neal's house in Damascus. Statues, gates, a helipad, and tennis court. And the tunnels were connecting the 2 houses between the dad and the son.
What would you need? What would the purpose of $2 million worth of heated tunnels?
Well, here's the sad part was that the dad had passed away was doing unkind things to his son.
Oh, ugh.
Yes. This was a bad deal. That was kind of his, when he got busted for it, the son, who was in his 40s when he was busted, his dad already passed on. That was his excuse in court, is that his dad did stuff to him. And that's why he was not right mentally either.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a bad thing, actually. Yeah. So Colts, once again, never ties anything good.
Is the house for sale or?
It's an abandoned property at the moment. It's owned by a bank. The jig, as they say, was up when Anthony fired a surgeon at their practice for not subscribing to their practices of fraudulently billing health insurance agencies for unnecessary tests.
Oh, man.
It was at Anthony Neal's sentencing that we get a chilling peer behind those Anubis gates and into the secretive family they're in. Yeah, they're just, they didn't paint a good picture of the first doctor who ran the practice. Dr. Neal died from a stroke in 2015 with no resolution to his domestic terrorism or financial crimes. Anthony's judge sentenced him to a year in federal prison and was unsurprisingly ordered to pay millions between insurance agencies and the IRS. Here's the problem with that for me, though. This is one of those things, again, where they do find out you've been doing fraud, right? But instead of paying back the people that were stolen from, they're like, okay, you got to pay back the IRS and the insurance
Everything
agencies.
Gets paid and insurance gets paid first, right? Of
What
course.
what about the impacted people?
Right. And then the people that are impacted, they can file a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then it'll take probably about 5 years for anyone to see funds from any of that.
Right. So anyways, Oculus Anubis. Now, here's the weird part about this. If you Google Oculus Anubis,
Yeah.
there's a live website that has pictures from the compound
Yeah.
that you can like donate to, and it's trying to do this weird message, like trying to like, hey, we're trying to spread the word, but it doesn't give you any clear message what they're trying to do.
All right.
But you can donate, which I thought was wild.
And there's a little YouTube video on here.
Yes.
Out there. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on here.
Oculus Anubis. Isn't that wild?
The sinister place is shrouded in mystery.
So that was my first thing I want to talk about. So the weird compound ties to a cult. But now I want to get some history for you. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
So this is by Heather Anderson. This is published in February 2018 issue of Portland Monthly. So in 1847, a Quaker abolitionist named Henderson Llewellyn? Oh man, I'm going to butcher that. Hopefully none of his relatives are alive. Henderson L. was stricken with organ fever. Llewellyn uprooted his Iowa fruit nursery and brought it with him. He packed one wagon with hummus and charcoal and laid in 700 of his strongest saplings. So instead of like dirt, he used charcoal and hummus to pack in 700 different saplings of his best fruit. It worked.
Hummus?
Hummus.
Like
legit garbanzo beans smashed down, add a little garlic, make it delicious. It was an insane plan with little chance of success. Everyone mocked him for it, but he did it anyway. He hitched 3 oxen to the heavy wagon, and Llewellyn Traveling's orchard, as it came to be known, was off, joining 100+ wagon trails of Lot Whitcomb, who would go on to found Milwaukee, Oregon. Upon arriving, Llewellyn, his wife, and 8 children soon found available land just south of today's Selwood, in the present location of Waverly Country Club. The nursery they created became the site of several horticulture milestones. The first spot west of the Rockies to grow prunes, and the first place to perform tree grafting. It was also the birthplace of the Bing and Black Republican cherries. So this guy did it all. Some of Llewellyn's heirloom fruit trees are still stand there today on that country club. Now, within a few years, the orchard and its offspring had produced 20,000 boxes of fruit. 1 year's yield was worth the equivalent of $11 to $17 million in today's market. Well, with inflation, this is 2018. So with inflation, it's like $40 million now. One horticulturalist later claimed Llewellyn's fruit brought more wealth to Oregon than all of the ships entering the Columbia River.
all because of some hummus.
All because of some hummus and some charcoal. I love it. His nursery wasn't just big business. It helped Portland climb out of San Francisco's shadow as a major West Coast city. Much of his fruit was shipped to San Francisco during the gold rush and cemented Oregon's status as a fruit king of the West. Now, here's where we get into the cold stuff. But Llewellyn wasn't satisfied. In 1854, at age 45, he ditched Oregon for California, lured by its weather, wide open space, and really high fruit prices. He sold his Portland holdings to his brother and son-in-law and left to start an apricot and cherry orchard in his very own town of Fruitvale outside of Oakland, California. Once again, it thrived. His wealth grew. Okay, this guy is not having a bad luck streak at all. Everything's coming up roses or cherries. I don't know. The pioneer orchard man wasn't content. He recalled an earlier trip he had taken over the Isthmus of Panama
Perfect.
Did I name it? Yeah. He contemplated various spiritual truths. Henderson Llewellyn started getting ideas.
Oh boy.
Now, he was a Quaker, but in Oregon, he'd begun dabbling in eccentricities like spiritualism, a hugely popular and influential movement founded on the convention that the living can communicate with the dead.
Really?
Yes. During this time, various threads of utopian socialism also emerged, intertwining spiritualism, which, among other things, challenged the era's established churches and thus appealed to those with radical learnings and free love. So here's where we get to the free love.
Spiritualism.
Yeah, spiritualism.
That's still kind of around today, though.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's still a thing. Spiritual communion was believed by free lovers to supersede legal marriage, which they saw as a type of sexual slavery against women.
What is always with that?
It's just an
Why
excuse
is that
to,
like in a foundation of every cult?
look, that's, I feel like really the cult are just kind of like sexy parties.
I mean, it's like their mission statement.
They argued not to put too fine a point on it for the individual's rights to bang anyone they fancied, to couple and uncouple at will. Freeing sexuality from marriage was not only emancipation, I didn't nail that word, but an early example of women's liberation. Allusions to abolition and feminism, among other things, made free love interesting to Llewellyn. And that's why, just 5 years after leaving Portland, he sold Fruitvale to the governor of California for $40,000, bought a boat named Santiago, and he also bought 50,000 acres of rainforest and joined a religious sex cult bound for his tropical island. So
How did this guy go from?
This guy went from living on the East Coast, he got hummus and charcoal, brought over all these fruit samplings, boomed in Portland, went down to California, boomed in California, okay, but still was not happy or satisfied, okay?
Well, how do you be like, I'm going to go from selling all this delicious fruit, but like, I'm going down to Panama and seeing what we got down here?
It was for a sexy cult, okay? That's all. So on October 8th, 1859, the Sacramento Daily Union reported an association of free lovers known as the Hormonal Brotherhood sailed from San Salvador in the schooner Santiago. They numbered about 25 persons, male and female, and are under the guidance of Dr. Tyler. They proposed to settle in the interior of Honduras.
Under the guidance of Dr. Tyler.
Dr. Tyler. Now, here's the best part. So Llewellyn is taken up with these groovy free lovers whom he met in San Francisco.
Where else?
Dr. Tyler, it turned out, was actually an ex-blacksmith who now professed expertise in water cures and clairvoyance. One of the men was fleeing financial troubles, and when the ship was searched by police, he hid under the hoop skirt of a female passenger.
Oh, okay.
So you get this. So now he's got this boat full of these free love radicals. Okay, hiding out, lying to their doctors. I love water will cure you. I'm pretty sure.
He's like, I'm a blacksmith. I'll just be Dr. Tyler.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Tyler.
Yeah.
Great. We need a doctor. Now, the one who caused the most delay, however, was the group's chief man, Llewellyn. He decided to leave his wife behind, leaving her no choice but to file a de lunatico incurando against him, initiating a formal investigation of his sanity. To avoid her, Llewellyn laid low for a couple of days after the vessel left the wharf, then hopped on a little boat and joined the schooner once it passed out of the San Francisco Bay. So this guy literally skips the country on the boat that he bought so he can get out of being, investigated for being insane. Now, here's the best part, and this is going to be no surprise. Guess what happened on that boat?
I'm going to say either cannibalism, sex party, or murder.
There was constant bickering, especially between Llewellyn and Dr. Tyler. Time at sea tested not only the sensual pilgrims' patience, but their principles as well. Several of the colonists quickly abandoned their vegetarian diet, sneaking salt pork and coffee on the boat, and straight up eating fresh beef and game when ashore. Then came the egg war. In Oaxaca, Mexico, a seller approached with several dozen eggs for sale, and Llewellyn bought them all, not realizing the eggs had already been purchased by Dr. Tyler.
Oh my gosh.
The egg hawker was surely delighted to have been paid twice. The eggs were the last straw, and the fight continued for days on the boat.
How do you think that conversation went?
Hey man, I just bought some eggs. No, I already bought those eggs. Who'd you buy them from? Like that one guy walking down the street with all that money.
It's just like whiffing away, like laughing.
He's
counting
American.
his money.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Okay. Finally, the trappers made it to Llewellyn's sadly tiger-free Tiger Island, a small scrap of Honduran volcano in the Gulf of Frontica, arriving in the fall, which was apparently the best time of the year in Central America. Their vegetarianism wasn't as effective as they boastfully predicted at preventing tropical diseases, however, and several immediately got sick. Unfortunately, the free lovers described a fashionably hydrotherapy rather than modern medicine. Because remember, Dr. Tyler was, water's a cure-all. One lady ran a high fever. They cocooned her in wool blankets until she began sweating profusely, and then threw a bucket of ice water on her.
What die?
The speedy result was her death.
Ice bucket challenge.
Oh man! Before the ship even turned around to leave, 2 people had died. Half a dozen more were sick. Dr. Tyler and his wife had succeeded from the colony, and along with several other members, and the rest were waiting for their chance to get the hell out of there. Between the bad weather and the humidity, it turned out that Honduras was a lousy place for a bunch of wealthy vegetarian swingers to start a sex cult.
So now you know.
Llewellyn returned to California, destitute and defeated. It was the first time one of his harebrained schemes had failed, and he struggled to bounce back. The Santiago wrecked in Mazatlan during the return to San Francisco in July 1860, so he didn't have a ship anymore either. He struggled to re-enter the fruit biz. He had a falling out with his brother, and in 1878, Llewellyn, at the age of 69, was found dead and partially roasted after he suffered a heart attack while clearing land for another orchard in San Jose, California.
Oh my God.
So right in the middle of the heat, he decided he's going to clear a field.
Oh boy.
Died by himself out there, and then was in the heat for a couple of days. And
Do you think that would have happened no matter what, though? Like, do you think that heart attack would happen even if he didn't go on this little venture?
This is one of those guys that he would probably be very interesting to interview for the podcast.
Right.
Can you imagine? I
cannot imagine.
Now, here's and this is how this ends up. Today, shelved at the Multnomah County Libraries, there are 2 kids' picture books that tell Llewellyn's story. Tree Wagon and Apples to Oregon. Neither share the juiciest details of the life of the free-loving orchardist.
There's children's books about
These
this
are
guy?
children's books about this guy, but they only cover the Apples to Oregon and the Tree Wagon.
Oh my.
They don't cover anything that happened afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
That's in the adult fiction. Then.
oh boy, I just love it. Well, and I'm going to leave this on a cliff note, though. There is somebody else that we can tie into this occult stuff, and I will give you a hint. I'm not going to say his name, but his name is on the side of a building in Roseburg. We've all been to this building as somebody famous.
Okay.
His name's on the side of the building in Roseburg. And so on our Halloween our next episode, I will tell you his story, and you will be shocked and appalled and blown away. But there you go. Those are my...
speculation, but we'll wait for the Halloween
That's
episode.
right. Those are my cult stories.
We'll have to get Dave for the Halloween episode again.
We got to get, yes. And as long as you dress up as a Ghostbuster.
You know what's funny?
What?
We do these episodes where we have serious topics like cults.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because we can laugh all they want.
Always,
I mean,
yeah.
there's people that have actually lives have been ruined from cults. Some of it's not funny, but some of it's kind of funny what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I love how we go from cults,
Mhm.
talking about cults, to diving into Octoberfest.
It's the best way.
It's
You
just
got to drink
like
your
a
problems away, right?
Different ends of the spectrum.
Oh.
So I was trying to find fun things to talk about for fall.
Yeah.
Because again, we're just obsessed with fall apparently, which isn't for literally a month from now. We'll probably do about 4 more fall episodes between now.
I guess we'll do like a countdown calendar. Just like, I'm just ready for it.
Right. We'll definitely do a good Halloween episode though, for sure.
I love it.
So Octoberfest is annually. Was that all your stuff for?
That's it. That's all I got. Those are my 2 stories.
Right into that.
The Oculus Anubis and Llewellyn, which I know I didn't say his name right, but I protected the innocent. Then I don't think there was any
From
innocent.
1860, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine like his great grandkids like, you got it all wrong?
We still haven't gotten our cease and desist from a Twin Rays yet, so I don't.
Yeah, that's.
Think, Oculus Anubis or Llewellyn's going to be bothering.
Oh boy.
So I found some cool stuff about Octoberfest, which is,
it's huge.
Worldly renowned
Yeah.
festival. It's in Munich, Germany. It's held over a 2-week period. I didn't know that. This year, it's 189th Octoberfest. It takes place this year from September 21st to October 6th. It originated on October 12th, 1810, in celebration of the marriage of the Crown Prince of Bavaria, who later became King Louis I, to Princess Teresa von Sachen-Hildenbergenhausen.
Nailed it.
We are so good at pronouncing things. The festival concluded 5 days later with a horse race held in an open area that came to be called Teresa's Green.
Wait, say it in German.
No, boy.
Theresienwiesen.
It's, yeah, Theresienwiesen.
Theresienwiesen? Nailed it.
Yeah, the following year, the race combined with a state agricultural fair, and in 1818, booths serving food and drink were introduced.
Oh, I love it.
By the late 20th century, the booths had developed into large beer halls made of plywood with interior balconies and bandstands. Each of Munich breweries erects one of the temporary structures with seating capacities of 6,000 people.
What?
So each brewery in
Yeah.
Munich, their job is to erect structures to hold 6,000 people. So it would be like every brewery in Roseburg. Here, you go erect your own brewery hall,
To hold
seating
6,000?
6,000 people each, right?
Is that like a biggest beer crawl ever? You just go like 6,000 people go around at all these different breweries?
Crazy.
I got questions.
The mayor of Munich taps the first keg to open the festival.
Oh, you got to.
I mean, how cool is
That's
that? How cool is
the
that?
one reason to be mayor.
Right. The breweries are also represented in parades that feature beer wagons, floats, along with people in folk costumes, entertainments, games, amusement rides, dancing, music. And it sounds like it's on Eliab's bucket list here. Oktoberfest draws more than 6 million people each year, many of them, of course, tourists. Each year, millions of liters of beer are served in beer tents at Oktoberfest. Okay.
Hmm.
So in 2023,
Okay.
in liters,
Okay.
guess how many millions of liters was
In
were served?
millions? In millions? I couldn't even fathom.
6.5 million liters in 2023.
That's, I can't,
Over a 2-week span. But that's
like-
nuts.
I wonder, it's like Crater Lake.
2022 was 7.1. In 2019, because the pandemic, they skipped a couple of years. 2019 was 7.3 million liters. Last year, the Oktoberfest set an attendance record. An estimated 7.2 million people attended in 2-week span. 7 million people, man. That's a lot of people.
crazy.
It was the world's largest celebration of beer from September 16th to October 3rd, highest level of attendance ever. Well, this year's edition was also largest, they extended a couple days last year because there's a holiday called Unity Day. 2022 is 5.7 million people, and 2019 was 6.3. Some fun facts from October.
Yeah.
Last year, security confiscated the beer stein, so like the big beer.
Yeah.
So I guess you can't just take them, right?
I didn't
People
think-
try to steal them.
Oh, okay.
They confiscated
Yes.
115,600 of them.
What?
Over 115,000 beer mugs people try to walk off with. How do you? I don't know. I don't know how you catch people. That's a lot of people.
I thought they were
just have to sneak
souvenirs.
out.
That's crazy. They save them for every year then?
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Or it did belong to each brewery. It's like a beer cup for each brewery. And are they just trying to like shove it in their pants or like put it in their shirt? Or are they just like trying to be all like drunk and like walking out with like, I got a beer stein.
So you said it was how many millions of liters?
So last year was 6.5 million liters of beer.
So get this. Do you know how many Crater Lakes that is?
No.
That's almost 3.5 Crater Lakes. I just Googled the conversion rate. That is insane amount. That's insane.
That's a lot of beer.
That's a lot of beer. Okay. Anyways,
And that's not even compared to, 2019 was 7.3 million liters.
that sewer system
So
has
much
to.
beer.
Oh,
Right, and what's the bathrooms like?
I can't even imagine.
Is there just like,
It's got to
bunch of
smell.
porta
It's got
potties?
to smell.
I
It's
mean, it
got to
sounds like
smell.
just a German Woodstock.
I just wow,
I'm interested.
wild.
How
Anyway.
far in advance do you have to? And Munich's big, so I mean, the hotels, Airbnb.
Oh yeah, you got almost 2 years in advance just to make sure you get a good one, right?
And you probably don't have to buy tickets, right? You just show up.
Oh
So
yeah,
what's
just
the
find a
German-
line.
German
Just get in a
food,
line.
like schnitzels and
I love the pretzels.
grout and sauerkraut and brats.
Yep.
Over 3,250 items returned to Lost and Found, which includes 640 wallets, 580 items of clothing. What? Who's taking off their
Oh, when you get drunk, things come off. It gets hot.
socks, 520 ID cards, 400 smartphones, 380 bank cards, 200 keys,
Yes.
310 pairs of glasses, 120 bags, 40 umbrellas, and 6 pieces of jewelry.
Is there any statistic like the drunk drivers? Like maybe they don't. Maybe they put a kibosh on that there.
Yeah, I don't know. And do they just block off
right? No one's driving. Yeah.
Right. 2.8 million kilowatts of electricity was consumed.
Wow.
2.8 million kilowatts. That's a lot. 300 tons of garbage.
This is just last year.
This is last year.
That's nuts.
The ambulance station dealt with 7,620 patients.
Wow.
But that's out of, what did I say, 7-something million people? 7,000 people. That's not, I mean, it's not terrible, but
but it's still wild.
And then I didn't get more to this one.
Yeah.
But there were only 7 lost children. A, who's bringing kids?
Yeah, that's boy.
B, are kids just running off because they're bored?
Yeah, 7 lost children.
Right. I didn't see any.
That's wild.
So
I love that. That was actually fun facts.
Right. Close this out here. So Oregon actually has their own version of Octoberfest. And it's not like one of those like, oh, Roseburg's going to hold Octoberfest, which is fine. I'll get to what Roseburg does here in a second. Oregon has a town called Mount Angel. It's in the Willamette Valley. Community largely composed of descendants of German and Swiss. It held its first Oktoberfest in 1966. By the mid-1980s, the annual event had become the largest folk festival of its kind in the Pacific Northwest. It draws over more than 300,000 visitors a year. Mount Angel, it only has about 3,400 residents.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a really cool spot if you get up there and check it out. I couldn't find, I was trying to find like how much beer and how much food and stuff. There wasn't a whole lot of info on the statistics like the Oktoberfest up or over in Munich.
Oh, Mount Angel's it's kind of off between Salem and Portland a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And it's a really cool, the town is very like old school Eastern European.
Oh, I like those kind.
The architecture, the decor, it's very, very neat if you ever get a chance to go up there and check it out.
Now I'm interested. I love that kind of stuff because I've been to like Solvang in California.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yes.
And have you ever been to, is it Leavenworth in Washington?
No.
I want to go there. It's supposed to be really cool and during Christmas time. It's like at the old, old European structures and stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's the one in California?
Solvang. Solvang. It's where I've had Ebel Skeevers. Little pancake balls. Pancake balls. They're like
Dip
little
them in syrup?
Yeah, they come dipped in like you get like choices,
God.
But yeah, Ebel Skeevers. And I actually I found it at Goodwill here in Roseburg, an Ebel Skeevel maker, which I love that somebody gave up on it. You're like, no. I tried to do these brown pancakes. I'm out.
All right. I mean, gosh, that sounds delicious. Roseburg does something called a Blocktoberfest, which this year it's on Saturday, October 5th. Now, this is like a downtown event.
Okay.
You go around, they have booths, vendors, restaurants are open. You can even go out there now. They have applications open if you are trying to sell something or being a partner or beer and cider. Or if you want to volunteer or sponsor opportunities, you can go out there to roseburgblocktoberfest.com. Also, it looks like they have a Facebook page. And again, it's October 5th. I guess it's the 3rd annual one. I have not been to one.
I didn't either.
Terrible for saying that, but apparently it's a busy time of year.
I love
football gone away.
I went to the website, roseburgoctoberfest.com. I love that the first picture is just like a couple like teenagers that got dragged to go. They're not happy.
Not happy.
Yeah, not happy. Like you can take my photo, but you're not being a website somewhere.
I'm not going to look at the camera at all. So
I love it.
What else happens in fall? Well,
yes.
Other festivals. I was looking at other holidays. Just nothing really kind of stuck out to me. There's a lot that you kind of hear about, the Dias de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, of course, Thanksgiving, Halloween, all the ones. But one holiday in England on November 5th centers around a gentleman by the name of Guy Fawkes.
Yes.
And it's Fawkes.
Yes.
Did you think it's Fawkes? Fawkes?
When I first heard it, I thought it was like Fox, like he's a foxy guy.
He's like a foxy guy. He was also known as Guido Fawkes while fighting for the Spanish. Did you know that?
No,
he was a
that's
member
a great
of a
name
group of provincial English Catholics. Guy Fawkes was born in 1570 in Stonegate, York. He was the second of 4 children born to Edward Fawkes, proctor and an advocate of a court of York. Boy, I can nail that. And his wife Edith. Guy's parents were regular attendants of the Church of England. His actually date of birth it's unknown what his actual date of birth was, but Guy Fawkes is specifically known for the gunpowder plot.
Yes.
In 1604, Fawkes became involved with a small group of English Catholics led by a gentleman of the name Robert Catesby, who planned to assassinate the Protestant king, James, and replace him with his daughter, who was, I guess, third line in the succession. It was a failed attempt to blow up King James and also the Parliament. They were going to blow up.
Yeah.
The plot was organized by Robert Catesby. Around midnight on November 4th, 1605, one of the conspirators, Guy Fawkes, was discovered in the cellar of the Parliament building with barrels of gunpowder. Now, if you're going to, it seems kind of gutsy and risky to just be sitting around with something that can just blow up any time, right?
Yeah.
So Fawkes and other men involved in the plot were tried and executed for treason. He was actually sentenced to be hung, quartered, and...
Oh, wow.
I can't remember what the other term was, but I guess there's a theory is that he actually stepped off, like he like hung himself. To
Oh,
not
dang.
Be,
okay.
quartered and whatever the other.
Went his own way.
Right. Every November, the British celebrate Guy Fawkes by burning Fawkes in effigy. So do they celebrate it because it's like a way of like saying, like, we just never, this guy's not part of our history. Like, they're not celebrating Guy Fawkes. Are they celebrating like the spoil the plots of?
That's what I think it is. I think there's a twofold thing. I think it's one, it's like, hey, we're gonna celebrate the fact that we caught this guy from stopping to kill the king and blowing up Parliament. But then the reason he was doing it is questioning government in general.
Right.
So I think you have this weird twist where you have some people celebrating that he was caught, and other people celebrating that he was put to, he's a martyr in a way.
Either like anarchy,
yeah,
like people that are for like, not anarchy.
So wild.
What became known as the Gunpowder Plot was organized by Robert Catesby. He was a devout Catholic whose father had been persecuted by the Queen Elizabeth I for refusing to conform to the Church of England. Catesby, Fawkes, and a handful of other plotters rented a cellar that extended under the House of Lords building in London, and Fawkes planted the gunpowder there. However, on October 26th, Lord Monteagle, the brother-in-law of one of the conspirators, received an anonymous letter warning him not to attend Parliament on November 5th. Monteagle alerted the government, and soon an investigation was launched. At about midnight on the night of November 4th, Sir Thomas Knyvet, Knyvet, Justice of the Peace, found Guy Fawkes lurking in a cellar underneath the Parliament building with a fuse, a box of matches, and 36 barrels of gunpowder.
Oh, the 36 barrels.
With a fuse and a box of matches.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you sneeze?
Yeah.
You strike the match, but you can't. You're not outrunning that, are you?
I feel like Guy Fawkes missed a window here. Like you can't say, you could just say, "Oh, there's 36 bottles of gunpowder here. Oh, I didn't bring those in. I just got a match so I can walk around."
Right. Or
like,
why not hire like somebody who's not going to be like part of the plot? Like, pay some some kid or
some street urchin boy,
or some hoodlum to be like, "Hey, I'll give you whatever the currency was here in 1605 England."
Was he going to die anyways by light nose? Because was he going to make it out in time?
That's a good question.
That was a suicide mission.
That's a good question. He was taken into custody under torture. So they tortured him. Guy Fawkes, he revealed he was a participant in an English Catholic conspiracy to annihilate England's Protestant government and replace it with Catholic rule. So it just all comes down to, and they just were trying to do their own religious mutiny here. By torturing Fawkes, King James' government learned the identities of the other co-conspirators. During the next few weeks, English authorities killed or captured all the plotters, put the survivors in the famous town of London while they were awaiting a trial. Fawkes and the other surviving chief conspirators were sentenced to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. That's the term. Hanged, drawn, and
that's what it is, yeah.
Okay, and then moments before the start of the execution on January 31st, 1606, Fawkes actually jumped from a ladder while climbing to the gallows, breaking his neck and dying. So he said, "I'm just going to go out my way instead of." I think he was just saving himself from from being quartered. Following the failed gunpowder plot, the new laws were initiated in England that eliminated the right of Catholics to vote, among
Jeez.
other repressive restrictions.
And you're right. The reason is, I did look it up. The reason they celebrate Guy Fawkes Day was to commemorate the failure of the gunpowder plot
Oh, really?
of 1605. However, the mask, the Guy Fawkes mask, a stylized depiction of Guy Fawkes,
Right.
has become a global symbol of protest against politicians, banks, and other financial institutions.
Yeah. And show I really liked, Mr. Robot. They used that for
That's right. Yeah, it was in Mr. Robot. It was
Yeah.
V for Vendetta. Very popular. Yeah.
in 1606, Parliament established November 5th as a public day of Thanksgiving, Guy Fawkes Day, also referred to as Guy Fawkes Night or Bonfire Night. It's now celebrated annually across Great Britain, each November 5th in remembrance of the gunpowder plot. As dusk falls, villagers and city dwellers across Britain light bonfires, set off fireworks, and burn effigies of Fawkes. Another tradition that originated from the gunpowder plot is a ceremonial search before the state opening of Parliament, when the guards search the building and cellars for explosives and other security threats. So they have a tradition
Wow.
where they go and search for gunpowder. And I mean, I wonder.
That'd be so awkward.
know.
Somebody they didn't know about Guy Fawkes Day and there was just something shady down
Right
there,
underneath
and they're
it.
like,
Right.
it's like the one night of the year. Like, oh
Right.
man.
Or you think that gets like whoever's job that is to be the person that searches underneath the building, everything, they get like kind of like tired of it. Like,
Every year, yeah, guys. It's been 300 plus
Right, I
years.
don't
Yeah.
think we're finding anything. So anyway, that's kind of what I lead into for something interesting for fall.
I like it. 2 questions.
That's all I had there.
Let's,
Yes, 2 questions.
Okay.
Mark, do you have a show or I would say, movies aren't reoccurring every fall,
Yeah.
but do you have something you look forward to watch besides football every fall?
Oh man. Yeah. Football's number 1.
Shows?
Then, gosh. It's hard because anytime you start liking a favorite show gets canceled or something like that. I do like The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. Season 3's coming out.
Tell me about it.
I really like that show. So season 3's coming out. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to. But yeah, just really football. How about you?
SNL.
Oh yes, sorry, SNL. I like. Yep.
Okay, no problem.
Yep.
SNL, Simpsons, always come back fall.
Yep.
I've been enjoying Abbott Elementary. It's another good fall show. It's really kind of what I go with.
I am looking forward to The Golden Bachelorette. That's coming out this fall.
You're joking.
I watched The Golden Bachelor, enjoyed it way too much. So The Golden Bachelorette, I am in. Man. Fall, Halloween, scary times.
Right.
What fears do you have, El?
We'll have to ask your brother this question too.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I have so many. So many. No. I have some strange ones. I think, to put myself out there a little bit, I think to be forgotten is probably a big fear.
Oh.
Like when I die, like,
Yeah.
when, 20, 30 years after I pass away.
Last time someone says your name, it's been forgotten.
I think that's kind of a big fear. I think getting embarrassed in public's a big fear of mine.
Oh, I'm used to that.
I'm not a big fan of that. Gosh, I mean, besides that, fear of losing family members.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. And I'm not a big fan of clowns. Aren't my favorites.
No, I don't think anybody likes clowns.
Besides that,
That's pretty good. Those, yeah.
those are,
No,
pretty typical.
yeah, no, those are good. Those are legit.
Yeah.
I have a fear of snakes.
Yeah.
You're into something funny about me. I never wear a watch, and I have a fear of getting. I saw when I was a little kid. I watched someone get a watch. They had had watch on the wrist, and they got caught in an elevator door and ripped off their arm. Shouldn't have watched it when I was a little kid, but now I will never wear a watch my entire life because I will not lose my arm in an elevator.
Yeah, that's when I get on an elevator, man, that freaks me out too. Like not getting my foot stuck in the elevator.
Right? Yeah. But and of course we're from Roseburg, Oregon, which I think has maybe 2 elevators in the entire county. But
my wife, Chelsea, she was on an escalator going down and she was wearing a dress and the dress got stuck in the escalator at the bottom. And I think she was with her old manager, her old boss or somewhere or somebody from work.
Mhm.
And they had to help her rip her dress from the bottom, just shredding her dress so she didn't get stuck in the escalator.
Oh man,
I don't know if she just didn't step off fast enough.
Yeah.
She wasn't paying attention.
I didn't think
but
that
she
would really
was so
happen.
mortified and embarrassed, being in public,
Yeah.
and then just with her boss and people from work, not, it would be different with me because we'd just be laughing about it. But she was,
Yeah.
somebody,
That's why I don't wear my dresses in public.
Exactly. There's another big fear of getting my dress stuck in a.
It happens to people, I hear. That's wild.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, the fear of being forgotten is going to happen though. It's a hard one.
Inevitable. That's why we do this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. We're immortalized.
That's why we do this. Because if Google or search engines last for another 100 years,
right?
I don't know how long stuff stays on the internet, but they can type in the Oregon Files podcast and maybe our website will still be up.
Right? People are going to be like, what the heck is this?
Right. We'll be vintage.
Man.
Our sweatshirts and t-shirts will survive. Hey, if you want a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, you can go to our website. It's www.theoregonfilespodcast.com. It's a great time of year to get a hoodie. It's fall coming around the corner.
Required.
Our sweatshirts, you can get multiple colors, really nice colors, and they are so comfy and warm. They're hoodies. They're good looking. The logo looks good. We're really proud of them. If you want to support our little podcast, our bills for the podcast, we don't pocket any. We're not embezzling. Maybe a little bit of it, but
buy donuts.
Buy donuts. Yeah, go out to the website. Even if you don't want to buy merch, just check out our website.
Yeah,
we put a lot of work into it. Some pictures from our guests. I do a dad joke, like a monthly dad joke. And then if you don't want to go out to our website, that's fine. You can listen to us anywhere you get your podcast. Mark puts it on YouTube. And tell your friends, your landlady, UPS driver, school's around the corner. You can tell your teacher, principal, whoever, that your favorite podcast is the Oregon Files Podcast. And we're on Instagram. You can look us up there. Anywhere. I feel like a broken record when I say
this is perfect. The best part about the hoodies is we're going to get one. Elle and I are going to go watch Josh Gates live.
Can't wait.
And we're going to get a Oregon Podcast hoodie, and I'm going to throw it on stage if I can't get it to him. And I'm assuming he's a 2X. I don't want to offend the gentleman, but I'd rather get bigger than smaller.
You think he's 2X? He's like 6'3".
He's got to be 2X minimum. He's not a 3X. He's not a big old boy.
He's 2X.
He's tall. Yeah, I'm thinking 2X. I think XL might be too small, so I think 2X is safe. So he's going to get an Oregon Files podcast hoodie tossed on stage. Yes.
Hopefully we don't get tossed out for
right. Can you imagine?
Right.
We make the local news.
Fine. Yeah.
2 local podcasters were arrested today for assaulting Josh Gates with a hoodie.
Right. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening.
Hope you guys
enjoy another cult episode and their Octoberfest and all the stuff we chatted about. And we got some interviews lined up. So we just appreciate all the listeners and followers. And if you want to comment on our YouTube channel,
please do.
We really love seeing the comments and the interactions. It's very cool to see what people think about our show. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.